I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Wiseman.
Present.
Basinger.
Present.
Boss.
Present.
Ekis.
Present.
Fry.
Present.
Gross. Present. Schroller.
Present.
Crom.
Present.
Quorum.
Thank you all for being here. The first item is approval of minutes from the July 25th meeting. I have no amendments. Does anyone have any amendments? I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve the minutes of the July 25th meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? 8-0. Thank you. The next item is public comments. Anyone that is not on the agenda that is interested in talking may come to the podium, speak for 5 minutes, say your name, your address, and your ward. All right, we will move on to business and discussion items. Joe, you're up first. You're number 1 tonight.
I won't take much of your time then. I'll just kind of pass these around a little bit to show you who this guy is.
Hey, Joe.
This guy came down one time before. He's been at the bar. There used to be a band out of Lincoln called the Blues Orchestra, and then it was a Honey Boy Turner band. They broke up, but one weekend that I had him booked, they said for another $150 I could get this guy. And he came down, and he's out of Chicago. He's played at the House of Blues. I don't know if you even know how big a deal the House of Blues in Chicago is. He's played there several times. And we just got talking. I've got him scheduled for Friday, September 9th. And we got talking at Harold Porgy's sale about car show is the only time we got a lot of cars around here that get to cruise, and how that one K-State, when we were in the bowl game, we had a tailgate party and the weather was that. And we just got talking, a bunch of us together, thinking, well, what if I could put this guy outside and maybe just open up for like a potluck block party type thing, and just everybody bring their barbecue grills down and want in the afternoon and barbecue, and then I'll just bring in a trailer and put this guy on the stage out front and just kind of have barbecue and booze and end of summer cruise night, just unofficial, nothing special, but some of the local car club members and some of the motorcycle people and everybody. This guy is really good. Of all the talent I've ever had down there, he's heads above, better than any of them.
So are you thinking about having your area marked off?
Yeah, just like I do for the car show. Just that area, the parking area in there, and maybe bringing in a flatbed trailer for a stage for him. If the weather's nice, if the weather's bad, we'll just put him inside. But just, Friday night and end of summer and sort of just a block party type thing.
So from 6th Street to 8th, Joe, or you want that
just,
much?
He
whatever.
wants to drag Main,
I got room,
You want to drag Main,
just
right?
the parking area, yeah, and it's whatever, if they want to close part of it down for whenever, whatever he's playing, whatever works the best. I don't care, but I don't need to block it off, because I just do the parking area, and it seems like I have plenty of room.
Were you going to have the flatbed truck by the statue, the pony statue? Is that what you're thinking? No, I wasn't going to put it in front of mine because I've run the electricity and everything out of mine. I just put it at the end of my property on probably the west end of it, and then just have my beer garden like I do, with the coolers, and just have the area out there, Okay.
Just go with that.
How do you guys feel?
I think it'd be great.
I think so too.
I think it's a great idea, especially since the gravel dash is the next day.
Yeah, that's the next day, and
there'll be a lot of people in
I talked with Marysville
town.
Main Street, and I talked with Boss and a couple of guys at the car club, and they just mentioned they don't have a time to cruise it, and there's a lot of people with some really nice cars in this town too.
When are you thinking about having your area blocked off?
Sometime in the afternoon.
Like about
3 or 4, whatever, time getting it set up, giving people time to barbecue and that, and then
4 to midnight. Chief, do you have any idea? You're fine with it?
Yeah, I met with Joe this morning. We talked about it, went through everything.
And can he barbecue food within that area, or does the barbecues have to be outside his area, or what's the deal on the barbecues?
No, there's no, the only restrictions is the sale of beer. Other than that, there's no restrictions on barbecuing at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just people bring in their own, and as far as that goes, I don't have a restaurant, but I have a restaurant license because I have to have that to serve potato chips and things like that
Oh, okay.
anyway. So I have a
Okay.
restaurant
I didn't
license as far
realize
as
that.
that goes too.
So everything's good with you, Chief?
4 to midnight, Joe?
Yeah,
Okay.
you know,
And you've gone over to make sure he marks it off and does
Yeah.
everything like the
Yeah,
car
I
show
know.
and everything's good? Well, but I would entertain a motion to encourage this or proceed.
I move to approve Joe's request for street closing for the 9th of September from 4 to 12.
Okay, now he's
Or
just going to
in
mark
front
off
of
his area.
Just in
yeah.
his area.
And to allow Dragon Main, you're also okay with Dragon Main that night, Chief?
It's not illegal to drag Maine. They can drag Maine anytime they will, please.
Okay.
Is
For
the,
some reason, I thought that was discouraged
It was the
now.
burnouts.
is the date the
The
8th?
I'm
burnouts.
sorry.
Is the date the 8th? rather than
September
the
9th.
yeah, it's on a Friday night.
Friday the 9th. Tina? I second the motion.
Okay, so he'll block off his area, but won't be blocking Main. All right, first,
One question?
Yes.
And everything will be out of the way for the next morning?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
because the gravel dash
Yeah,
is next
yeah,
morning.
so just-
Like, you'll pull everything out that night?
Well, I put everything inside but my poles, and that's no big deal. I pull them away.
But
in the
your
morning.
trailer and stuff, you'll have?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the
Be the next,
Starts at like
next
6,
morning, we'll
yeah.
probably get the trailer and stuff and get it out of the way or whatever.
They get started
Are
pretty
you okay?
early.
Did you just hear what he just said?
I think the only things that is left is the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, just wanted to make sure.
And there'll be
everybody's on the
trash
same page.
dumpsters already there, out there.
Yeah, because we'll need it.
You'll have trash
We'll need it
dumpsters
for the
there.
next day, so.
We might have to ask the crew to check them Friday night or Saturday morning when they get on duty. Okay. All right, any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? 8-0. Thank you, Joe, for bringing
Thank
people
you
to our
very much.
city.
If you guys like the blues, you ought to come in and see this guy. He's really good.
I think we will.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, Brenda, you're up next.
Hello, I'm Brenda Stagenborg with the Chamber of Commerce. You should all have in your packets a letter and a map for the gravel dash, which is Saturday, September 10th. We are requesting blocking off Broadway in the morning, 6th through 8th Street, and then 8th Street south to Elm, 4:30 in the morning till about 7:15, so that we can get all the riders together, started at the same time, and get them out of town. And then, because they'll start checking in about 5 a.m. And then also on the map, the barricaded area from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. That'll allow movement of the riders, support crew, spectators, everybody watching them come in, because they'll filter in from probably about 11:30 in the morning till about 6:30 probably at night. And then also various requests on moving in some picnic tables like they did last year for food sales. A couple sets of bleachers for people to watch, unlocking the restrooms at the Main Street building from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m., use of the downtown sound system at the same time, fly the welcome flags downtown and the flags on the overpasses on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then also permission to use the Kester House Gardens for our rider check-in, supper, and the riders meeting on Friday evening, which all that starts about 3:30 to 8 p.m. And then to serve beer with their meal. This meal is for riders and their family members only. So the sale of beer to them would be from about 5 to 8 p.m. And then also to allow the wagon wheel to serve food and canned beer directly west of their building from about 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. and allow the consumption of the beer in the area shaded in yellow. I will get my paperwork that I would need for the beer sales Friday night, and the wagon wheel would get their paperwork with ABC that they need for Saturday. Are there any questions?
And does the police unlock the restrooms on that day? Who does that for you?
We can, or the cemetery crew can.
City does, yeah, cemetery.
They get up at 5 a.m. to do this?
You just tell them what
I
time.
don't remember who did it last year. They were unlocked.
Yeah,
Well, do we
they
want-
do that. And they police the park throughout the day too, to keep the trash picked up for anybody that's down there.
I know, but overtime.
Yeah, it's
At 5
overtime.
a.m.
Yeah, it's overtime. But
If the
they
police
do
is
it.
already, the police are already on board.
Yeah, last year, the Parks and Rec, they brought everything down on Friday.
Yeah, that I'm
after-
not questioning.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they weren't around on Saturday at all.
So I was just thinking, are you okay, Chief, if you open the restrooms and,
Yeah, we'll get it.
and deal with the sound system? And then the welcome flags are okay, but the overpass flags, those are all done by Jim Breeding, right?
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
They're
So-
gonna be up year round.
They are, okay. All right, and then I did check with Brian Froggle, and he says the farmer's market is okay with it. They just set up as soon as they leave, and
Yeah.
it's transitioned fine before. And the only other thing is, on the barricades, do you put the signs like they do at the barbecue that
Yep,
says
no alcohol behind this
allowed?
point, yep.
And will they head out going,
They're going to turn south on
East?
8th Street
Okay.
and go down, actually through the park, over the overpass, and then hit the East River Road to get out of town.
okay, all right. Well, that answers my questions. So, did we have a motion for the requests and a motion for the consumption request? How about if we do those two together? How about?
I move to approve Brenda's request for the barricades and for the consumption.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. Then on page 10 is the resolution.
It's a separate one for the chamber. That's for the
Okay.
wagon wheel.
Okay, well, we'll do this one first. This resolution on page 10, it's 2016-10 for the wagon wheel.
Basically, we're just asking, Tanya Reed on behalf of the wagon wheel, we're just asking permission to have a beer garden set up right on the west side of our building on the sidewalk there, right out in the little parking lot, and run our beer garden from 2 to 6 in conjunction with the gravel dash.
This was the same as last year.
Huh?
This is the same as last year.
Yes.
Move to approve request.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? 8-0. And on your, thank you. And on your desk is Resolution 2016-11 regarding the chamber for the selling of alcohol.
Move to approve Resolution 2016-11.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? 8-0. All right. Tammy Sledgick, you're up.
Good evening, everyone, and I'm Tammy Sudlogic. I'm the president of the Marysville Chamber of Commerce. At the close of the conversation dealing with the hiring of the director of tourism at the last city council meeting, Councilwoman Gross indicated that she was surprised that Chamber was not on board with the proposal from Convention and Tourism Committee. I've also been asked by several others what Chamber's position is on this subject. So I'm here tonight to hopefully shed some light on that and help make it clear what exactly the Chamber does for tourism in our city. We have found records indicating that the Chamber has been contracted by the City of Marysville to act as the Convention and Tourism Bureau for they date at least back to 1989, so it's been a long time. I'm sure that this contract has changed over the years, but we are currently operating under the agreement dated or signed February 4th, 2011. This agreement appoints the Chamber of Commerce to be the Convention and Tourism Bureau as an independent contractor. It also stipulates very specific duties that we are to perform. The city's Convention and Tourism Committee is appointed by the city and shall assist the Convention and Tourism Bureau in encouraging, promoting, and soliciting tourism and conventions for the city of Marysville, and shall recommend projects and programs to promote, encourage, and solicit tourism and conventions for the city of Marysville. Brenda Stagenborg is our chamber secretary and as such takes care of these duties on a daily basis. We are paid $9,000 for the execution of these duties, which goes towards paying Brenda's salary, and $2,000, which helps to pay the utilities on the tourist center. these monies all coming from the transient guest tax. On or before October 30th of every year, the Chamber presents to the City of Marysville an accounting of the hours worked by Brenda in the capacity of convention and tourism for review. The actual expenditures for convention and tourism in 2015 was $16,382, of which $15,037 were for personal efforts, which relates to 1,173 hours at $12.82 an hour. As you can see, that is a shortfall from the $9,000 that we get to actually help to offset that. So Chamber made up that shortfall of $6,037. The only two parties involved in this contract are the City of Marysville and the Marysville Chamber of Commerce, and only those two parties have the ability to terminate that contract. Either party must give 60-day notice of intent to terminate in writing, or this agreement automatically renews year after year after year. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what the contract says and how it's worked for many, many, many years. Now I'd like to take a moment to talk about just what we are doing as the Convention and Tourism Bureau. As I stated before, the duties are very set out in the agreement, but they are as follows. We are to coordinate all tourism activities, advertising, address all inquiries relative to the travel and tourism industry, act as a clearinghouse for information and guides to the area, coordinate all tour packages, coordinate and act as host for area conventions, retain membership to the North Central Kansas Tourism Council and attend its meetings, prepare bulk mailings related to travel and tourism, coordinate workshops for local businesses that deal with the traveling public, and promotions for local attractions and events. These duties have all been incorporated into Brenda's daily, weekly, and monthly activities. Since Brenda has been hired, or was hired as a secretary for Chamber of Commerce 10 years ago, she has made it her mission to put tourism on the state map and has worked diligently to forge good relationships at the state and area levels. Her work in promoting Marysville and Marshall County is highly regarded, and she has held offices and serves on several boards. They include the North Central Kansas Tourism Council, which Chamber is a member. She was vice president for 2 years and president in 2015 and 2016. These meetings are held bi-monthly. Tour Kansas, Marysville Convention and Tourism, and also MCDC and Marshall County Tourism are members. She attends quarterly meetings and attends the Kansas Tour Showcase in Omaha, St. Louis, and tomorrow she's leaving for Wichita, where she will talk to bus tour operators to bring those type of groups to our city and to our county. Flint Hills Tourism Coalition, MCDC is also a member, and Marshall County Tourism is a member. She attends bi-monthly meetings as well as bi-monthly conference calls. This organization promotes the Flint Hills, where Marshall County is the northern gateway. She has served on the board of directors for 3 years and is secretary for 2016 and 2017. Travel Industry Association of Kansas, Marysville Convention and Tourism is a member. She attends yearly state 3-day conferences, and in 2013 earned the Kansas Destination Specialist status. Marshall County Development Corporation. They meet monthly to promote Marshall County tourism. She attends the majority of meetings, but does not sit on the board. She has been the treasurer on that organization since 2015, and they promote Marshall County tourism, and they also own the building that the Marshall County Visitor Center is located in. She is also working on trying to get bus tourists to come to our city and the area. She's working with other area people, like from Washington and the surrounding areas, because we're probably not quite big enough to bring a tour here, because we probably don't have something to keep them busy all day. So we're working on trying to get people to come at least to the area and maybe make several stops. We feel that she has done and continues to do an amazing job promoting our city and county everywhere she goes. The basic mission that we can see is that Convention and Tourism wants to really jump on the social media platform, marketing platform, add enhanced and/or professional marketing pieces, and have someone visiting the local restaurants, gas stations, and motels to get a pulse on what's going on in Marysville. We 100% agree that this does need to be done. We feel that it should be done by someone or something who has a good background in that field, and we have never had any issue with them wanting to do that. We feel this could easily be accomplished by possibly hiring someone to dedicate themselves to doing just that with no other responsibilities for less money, or possibly contract a professional firm such as 502 Media to do the social media marketing and enhanced marketing pieces. In closing, I would like to say that we have enjoyed working with the city all these many years as the Convention and Tourism Bureau. I told you when I came back tonight that I would have a decision on what Chamber wants to do. Our board met last week, and after much discussion, we have decided that I would simply present to you enough facts and information tonight so that you can make your decision as to whether or not you want to allow this position to be added. Once you have made your decision, which I assume will be at the next meeting, Chamber will then decide how we want to continue or if we want to continue. Should we continue, we would want to be a part of drafting any new agreement that may be involved. And that's all I have. Do I have any questions?
My only comment was, I know that when Brenda does travel, those expenses do come out of the transient guest tax, right?
Yes.
But the benefit does go to beyond the Convention and Tourism for Marysville. It goes to MCDC
because a lot
and
of
the
things
Chamber.
do
Yeah, so it does
overlap.
kind of,
Yes.
yeah, but the transient guest tax does pick up the cost for the meetings.
Some of that is picked up cost by MCDC, depends on what it is.
Okay, I didn't know that.
There are some things that they pay.
And so just to clarify, what you ended on is that Brenda is not interested in doing the social media work that they want.
No.
And she's also not interested in doing the, going to all the hotels and the restaurants and getting feedback like that. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. I think that was the two big areas that
They've always said that they don't feel she has time to do a lot of this stuff, and we agree. This extra stuff does need to be done by somebody else, especially in the social media marketing, and if they want enhanced advertising materials, definitely think that that is something they need to look at.
Okay, well, I think we left it last meeting that Craig was going to review the contract, make sure that we're aware of what it says and what we're able and not able to do. And so we will discuss it next meeting. So I don't know if you want to come.
Okay.
But I appreciate you gave a very thorough outline of what you do and what you've done. And so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Tammy.
All right, we have a request. For the next item is for a fireworks discharge waiver, and it seems like there's some, we don't really want to mention too much. We can put it in the minutes, but I know, but it specifically says it's a surprise. Do you guys have it on your on your desk? They just to clarify, that is 10:15 to 10:45 p.m. And I checked with Dave Richardson, and he's perfectly fine with it, and we'll make sure that that person is notified to make sure they clean up after the event.
Won't this be published in the meetings in the paper before the date? I mean, it's a surprise, but, I mean...
Won't it be published?
Well, that's why we're not saying the name.
It will be in the agenda packet next time.
Yeah.
So anybody that wants to read the agenda packet would
Just
be able
hope not everybody reads that. Just don't read the papers.
It's for a positive thing, so.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? 8-0. All right, thank you very much. The next item is ordinance 1844, our standard traffic ordinances that is updated annually.
Move to approve ordinance 1844.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Blackman?
Yes.
Basinger?
Yes.
Boss?
Yes.
Ekis?
Yes.
Fry?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Schroller?
Yes.
Wrong.
Yes.
8-0.
Thank you very much. The next item is ordinance 1845, which is our uniform public offense ordinance.
I move to approve ordinance number 1845.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Beichman?
Yes.
Biesinger?
Yes.
Boss?
Yes.
Ekis?
Yes.
Fry?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Schroller?
Yes.
Crom?
Yes.
8-0.
Great. I would entertain a motion to recess the council meeting at this time.
Move to recess the council meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. And I would like to call to order the Public Building Commission. Roll call, please.
Beichman?
Yes.
Biesinger?
Yes.
Boss?
Present.
Ekis?
Present.
Fry?
Yes.
Gross?
Present.
Schroller?
President.
Crom?
Present.
It's 8-0.
All right. And we will have a bond payment due regarding the debt, the pool debt. I would entertain a motion to pay.
Move to approve the payment of $221,307.50.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. I would entertain a motion to adjourn the PBC.
Move to adjourn the PBC.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. Thank you very much. And now we will resume the regular order of business. The first item we have is the public hearing for the 2017 budget. It was published in the newspaper, and the entire document is on your desk. So are there any comments regarding this, the public hearing? Comments regarding our 2017 budget is published. All right, well, I would entertain a motion to approve the budget and to file it as published.
Move to accept the 2017 budget.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Beichman?
Yes.
Biesinger?
Yes.
Boss?
Yes.
Ekis?
Yes.
Fry?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Schroller?
Yes.
Crom?
Yes.
It's 8-0.
All right. And the budget will be coming around for you to sign. The next item of business, we will close the public hearing, and now we will move on to the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. The next item is the appropriations ordinance 3632.
Move to approve the appropriations ordinance number 3632 was presented.
Yes, I'm all in.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Beichman?
Yes.
Biesinger?
Yes.
Boss?
Yes.
Ekis?
Yes.
Fry?
Yes.
Yes.
Gross? Schroller?
Yes.
Crom?
Yes.
8-0.
Thank you very much. Austin, you're up.
My computer's
Do you need a hard copy? Yes. See, this is why we need hard copies sometimes. You guys think that
Here we go. Took 5 seconds. All right. I went back upon your request to Boston Nordis to look at the smaller SUVs, the Escape and the Equinox, and got 2 bids from each, one for all-wheel drive Equinox and a 2-wheel drive Equinox, and one for a 4-wheel drive Escape and a 2-wheel drive Escape. And they're both sitting right there. I did a little summary. As you can see, compare them 4-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive versus 2-wheel drive. I'm still recommending going with an all-wheel drive, so the Equinox all-wheel drive from Nordis
is the low bid.
Is the low bid amongst the 4-wheel drive and all-wheel drive.
Okay.
Can I offer clarification though? I did look at both those, and the Boss quote includes the upgrade on the technology package, which is $1,200, and that does get you the blind spot and the...
Which, and I was kind of hesitant on that, but I was sitting with Greg, and he was telling me that was the only way I got Bluetooth, and that was really the only reason to upgrade to that package, and because I don't like driving with I like hands-free. Right. I think it's safer. So that was the reason that upgrade happened.
Well, and having that upgrade, I mean, it's having the cross-traffic, I don't know if that's available. I looked at I don't know if it's available on an upgrade on the Equinox, but it is a nice safety feature, especially with all the parking we have here in town. With that in mind, it's about a wash in terms of the cost-wise.
So are you saying you do want that? Is that listed somewhere on here?
It was in his quote. It was in
the Escape.
Boss's quote,
yeah.
But it would be the same cost added to this one?
I'm not sure on that. And I really wasn't looking at that. The upgrade, like I said, was all about the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
And for the safety of it. And I mean, that's what he wrote down, so.
So Carways, you have a choice. If you put that aside, you have a choice.
I sat in both of, well, actually, they didn't have an Equinox on hand, but I sat in the not much smaller, but the smaller SUV at Nordis, and there was I had one bone to pick with the Escape, and it was the foot piece where you rest your foot is straight up and down. And on a long trip, which is usually where I'm going to use it, that's not going to be exactly good on my knees. So
it's not comfortable?
No. So that was my one. Yeah, the Equinox was comfortable, or the Trax is what it was called. It was comfortable, and they told me that the Trax was.
Equinox is a little bit bigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was pretty comfortable with the Equinox.
Move to approve purchase of 2017 Equinox all-wheel drive from Nordis Motor Company.
Second.
I have to ask a question. Are you going to get white?
Is that a requirement?
You guys want white?
I'm fine with white.
Are you okay with white?
Yeah, I'm fine with white. I can switch everybody to.
And you'll put the city logo on it?
Yes.
And the money will come out of MER. Who made the motion?
I did.
So money coming out of MER?
Yes. That's
okay. Who is the second? All right.
Question?
Yeah, discussion.
Did you check, discussion please, did you check gas mileage? What kind of gas mileage do these vehicles get?
I didn't check. They're about, I did not check the all-wheel drive version of that, but from what I understand, what did you get in your Equinox?
I do not have all-wheel drive, I only have front-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And I picked that because it got better mileage, and it gets 27.
27 in the Equinox. So mark that down to about 24 in the all-wheel drive. Yeah.
I mean, I have the smaller engine, so I wanted better mileage.
That's one of my misgivings about the all-wheel drive thing, but.
Well, the Chevy site doesn't list, it says not available for the all-wheel drive. It says 21 for the, and it's the same as the Escape. I think the biggest difference, I mean, is the Escape has the 4-cylinder turbo boost, and that one has the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, so it's, but I think they were about the same.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
7-1.
And I abstain because of my business relationship with Boss Motors.
6-1-1. So you will get that ordered?
Yes.
Do you know how long it will take?
I was told by about 6 weeks from somebody who orders. So.
Okay, and then we'll go ahead and put the Avalanche on Purple Wave?
Purple Wave, yes, we will put the Avalanche on Purple Wave.
Don't end up in Texas again.
We need a motion for that to go across. Can I have a motion to surplus the Avalanche?
Move to surplus the Avalanche. Second. What year was it?
Upon arrival.
2000?
Upon arrival of the new one.
And the logo.
Yeah.
Yes, that was first and second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. Thank you very much.
Tell them
Don't drive that avalanche until you get air in the back tire, because it's flat. It's almost flat.
Can you pass that down?
Yeah, sign all of them.
I'll get it. I'll find out where it is.
All right. He's speechless. You have to move on, Austin.
Well,
He got a car. He's happy now.
You're handing me stuff. Okay. All right. The Clink 2017, 2018. Let me see. Tuesday or Wednesday, I am meeting with the engineer that won the contract, BG. They're coming up to start the surveying process. I'm going to meet with them as they do that and get more information on the process and what's going on. So that is started.
And you'll give us a heads up when we have to think about funding?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And so you said that they're combining the Clink and the GI projects. So are they actually skipping 1 year of Clink funding?
Well, they're not requesting applications this year for the next funding cycle. They're going to work out the program between the geometric and improvement and the Clink program, just combine the application process, and then hopefully in the spring we can apply for those funds for the next.
But then that would be the following year?
Yes. Yep.
Not
as far as I
July
understand.
1st?
As far as I understand.
Beginning July 1st, 2017, or you think July 1st, 2018?
Since they're just combining these, they don't give me any details.
They didn't give you a date?
Yeah.
Okay.
They hope this spring to have an application process, but they are basically getting rid of Clink and geometric improvement as a named project and combining all the funds. So basically probably downsizing the funds available and downsizing the projects that you can apply for, or downsizing the number of projects that they're going to accept. That's my guess, just because of the funding.
So we'll go ahead and look to get the Clink 2017 going.
Right.
Then and the TA project for the traffic lights will continue on. We can go ahead and get that started.
Yeah,
since
we got to.
We won't be tied to anything on that now.
We will. The next step is to get an engineer for that. So that's.
She'll be basically walking the project with B&G to. Okay.
Yep.
A lot of curb work. Make sure you note it so we can get on it.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and as long as we're going to look at curb work, since we don't know when we're going to get Highway 77 done, we might have them look at some of that really bad curb work by the high school as well. Or I should say on the city park side.
Right,
City
yeah.
park side. But that curb is really bad there.
Yeah, it holds water and everything through there.
Well, it's kind of chopped up.
Yeah, with the curb humps and dips
so
in it.
even if we don't do the street, we probably should do some of those sections over there. So we need to we need to solicit bids for the TA project for the traffic light?
Yes.
We do? So we need a motion to do that? Or ask you to?
I'll write up the bids and we'll talk about it next time.
Okay,
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Do you want to say anything about your cash and budget statements?
I had to make some corrections to the cash and budget. There were some mistakes that I did not catch just in the year-to-date numbers, but nothing to throw other than the year-to-date. Isn't that correct? The year-to-date accumulations, we're just pulling from one spot instead of two different spreadsheets like they were supposed to. So I corrected those for the next time and have it set up. But other than that, I didn't have any.
So what's the status of our North Street and 11th Road South?
I'm still gathering bids. I've been having trouble. Not that people don't want to bid us. They're pretty busy right now too. I've gotten one bid from Hall Brothers, and Vance Brothers hasn't called me back, and I forget if I submitted to somebody else, but those were the two main ones I was looking at. And
in hopes of still doing it in 2016?
In hopes of still doing it, yes.
Okay. All right. Do you guys have anything else for Austin? All right.
And then I got I passed these sewer pictures out to you guys, and in my discussion, I believe it was my highlights for the week, I talked about that we needed to replace, fix or replace some of these sewer pieces before we could go through with the CIPP. There's 3 spots that are either sinking or just not level with the adjacent pipe that we would have to come in, or really we need to have somebody come in and excavate it and raise it up and make it level just enough for them to do the CIPP, because once you get that stuff that in there, it'll hold. And then there are 4 other places that we'll have to replace, physically replace some line. 2 have 6 to 10 feet of replacement needed. One has a piece of 3-foot pipe that's 6 inches that leads into an 8-inch, and they can't line that 6-inch, so we need to replace that to 8-inch pipe. Just right, it's right outside of a manhole, so they have to go in and fix that. I had Tony with CES give me a guesstimate, an educated guess on how much this might cost, and he gave me, after talking with a contractor, a $3,000 to $4,000 per site, so $21,000 to $28,000 approximately, and that is a real educated guess.
You know, we bid this CIPP as a group. Remember, we went with 4 or 5 or 8 different cities. And does it make sense to go ahead and fix these? I mean, we bid it out not by specific location, but we bid it out by linear feet, right? So could we go do a different area?
They would have to come back and clean a different area.
So that would be additional cost?
Yeah.
Well, did they actually clean this or just scope it?
They cleaned it and videoed it, and that does cost.
Okay. I was just trying to figure out if it would be easier to go to another area. First, we don't know if we can even find somebody available. If they give you a time frame they want to come back?
Because they are making the rounds, cleaning the other cities. Our estimate was about a month out, but that was.
Tony, can you come to the podium, please? So I know you just saw these pictures and you gave an estimate, but you think it's realistic that we can get someone to come and do this within the next month to meet this time frame?
I don't know. I think it'd have to be somebody local, hopefully. I think somebody out of town is going to probably cost more than that. But.
And you were the ones that told Austin what we had to do at each of these locations?
No,
Kent did that?
And we bounced it off of him.
Yep.
Off of Tony.
Okay.
And pretty much all the work is just digging, and that's why it costs the way it costs. It's getting down to it, because these are pretty much 9 to 10 feet, or the highest is 8 feet deep.
At that depth, you need a trench box.
Yeah.
In the bottom, so that's what makes it time-consuming and difficult.
Yeah, I just don't remember having a problem like this when we've done CIPP. The other times we've done it.
It's because they were the spots that they did have to fix were a little bit closer to the surface,
more shallow,
and Kent and his crew were able to fix them.
Tony, when you're talking a dig box, is that you have to set that in place to keep the sides from collapsing in on the workers? Is that what that is?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll dig down and expose the pipe, and when they actually go to work on it, they'll set a metal box down there that holds the sides up.
Who do we have do that?
Which we have.
We have one.
We have the box.
We do have one. It's just a little. The one Kent feels it's a little cumbersome with the equipment that we have.
Yes,
to get this stuff done. So and for the future, I've wanted to start looking for a lighter version, more.
I guess what we learned from this experience is when we're trying to do CIPP projects, if we know that it's deeper, we should keep that built into our time frame. So, do you remember who did Jackson Street for us? I mean, that was a really deep one. Were you involved with us with Jackson Street when we put that water line in?
The water line?
Wasn't it a water?
Sewer line.
It was a sewer line that was really deep.
We brought it up though.
Were you part of that engineering
so.
work? Okay.
I don't believe so.
I think that's what it was. KHRS.
Doesn't require
No,
they'll
they'll level it out to where they need it to.
Okay, so we don't need you for this project? Oh, okay. Thank you, Tony.
Just my guess.
Thank you for being honest. Okay, so you have an option. We can either go ahead and make a motion for, since he needs, because of the time frame issues, we can either, one, go ahead and authorize Austin to solicit bids and go with the low bid based on the experience he knows to a certain dollar amount, or we can have him get bids and call a special meeting and look at the bids.
You can treat it as an emergency purchase as well.
At $28,000.
Yeah.
Maybe Kent would recommend somebody too.
Yeah.
Get with Kent and talk it over with Kent.
So would you guys prefer to go ahead and...
Special meeting.
You want the special meeting? Is that a consensus? It's a lot of money.
It is.
Not that
I don't mind that.
we
That's
don't
fine.
trust you, but it's a lot of money. And then in case we can't get somebody to do it within the next month, we can go ahead and make the next
Let's have
discussion.
Kent come to the special meeting too.
All right, that's a good point. You'll ask Kent to come?
Yes.
Actually, we could have had Kent come tonight, couldn't we? All right, so we will have Austin solicit bids, and then we'll see where you go from there. And so check your emails on a regular basis. Debbie will be sending out. So, once the bids are made. Is there anything else?
Nope. Thank you much.
All right. Well, that wasn't good news. All right. Debbie, do you have anything? Do we need to announce about that meeting for that MBATH or whatever that is next week? Are you guys all aware that they announced it at Rotary today? Were you at Rotary, Todd?
Yeah.
August
No, I wasn't today. But they
August
mentioned
the
it 2 weeks ago.
18th.
August the 18th at noon.
At noon at Land O'Lane's, and need to, if we're going to eat lunch,
RSVP
to McNeish's
by this Thursday. But it's MBATH talking about businesses, potential businesses within that, within the area that could be potentially relocated to the city. So I was just going to encourage you guys, maybe if you're available next Thursday, to call and get a reservation. Actually, Debbie, you want to check with everybody and make a reservation? I plan to go on that. Okay. Does anyone else on the 18th? Or do you know if you're
That's
available?
on Thursday?
Yeah.
At noon?
Yes.
I'm in Topeka those on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay. Darlene?
I'm in Belleville.
You're in Belleville? With the smile on your face. Darlene, do you want Debbie
I'm available.
Brad?
I'd have to check.
Todd? Put Todd down. Vicki?
Put me down.
Denny?
Nope.
Okay, so you have a head count. Brad's the only one that, you'll make your own reservation if need be, so
Well,
you,
I can call
or you can call
I'll let
Debbie tomorrow.
know. Yeah.
All right, just thought of that, so I brought it up. Okay, the next item is 12th Street drainage on our standing committee reports, page 52. And basically, Austin got these two bids, two different methods of solving the drainage issue. And the way I look at this is it's going to cost somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000 to fix the drainage issue there. But before we can even decide, we need to decide about the road, the street. And Debbie did do some research and looked through the minutes, and in 2010, 2011?
August of 2011.
Yeah, I mean, but did you look through 2010 as well to make sure there wasn't anything? Anyway, in the minute, she looked through the minutes, and it was never discussed by the council, by the governing body, on what kind of street to put in there. Either the first time when the house was first built, nor when they talked about testing and all that kind of stuff, the council really didn't approve the surface or the somewhat repairs or upgrade, if you want to call it that. So, as you guys know, 12th Street, when it was platted, it was a dedicated street. And I looked at on 13th Street, which is just adjacent to that, and they did that piecemeal. They did one part, and then they did another part, and then I believe they did a third part to connect it from Park Place to Jayhawk Road. And it was in the minutes that it was either Shipman or Wayne Price that said, I don't think we should do this again piecemeal. So that was their 2 cents back in 2011 or 2012 or whatever it was. So anyway, so we have a street, a dedicated street, and according to our UDLC, it says that we put our streets in before any building permit, and that street was part of subdivision C, and which would have included 13th Street. So in an ideal world, we would have put 12th and 13th Street at the same time. The other thing to keep in mind too is that none of the other streets up there have rock. They all have asphalt, That's the only rock in that area, so I don't know if you want to. I think if we do anything with the street, we should make it consistent with all the other streets in that area.
I have no problem leaving it rock.
You don't? No. Are you going to leave it rock all the way to Jayhawk?
Yep.
Is that, did anybody have to look up in the code book whether, based on that, what that is zoned, whether it can be rock?
In the book.
Did you look it up?
I didn't really look that up, but it says there are 3 options.
The gravel.
Concrete, gravel, or asphalt.
But I believe it's based on the zoning of the development. Like if suburban residential versus residential, I think that comes into play. So maybe we need to find that out, see what our options are based on zoning for the next meeting. Can you do that, Austin? Mm-hmm. And then we'll talk. Do you guys have a feel on how you're feeling about to put a partial road in or put a whole road in, or does it?
I think it ought to go to Jayhawk.
I don't think it ought to go to Jayhawk.
I don't like the piecemeal. I'm sorry. That's a problem we run into on 13th Street. That's what started this way back when. It needs to either go through or it needs to stop there and never go through.
Okay.
And the landowners seem to all be okay with that option as far as the
But it needs to be one or the other.
Okay, well, why don't everybody kind of think about it and have an opinion by next week? We'll check, by next meeting. Austin will check and see, based on our zoning, what we can put there, what kind of surface, and we will discuss it next week. Is that all right? Mm-hmm. All right.
Thanks, Tony, for the estimate. That was Tony's estimate, by the way.
Thank you, Tony. We will deal with that. Maybe just not right away. The next item is a request for a notice of wage determination to that Sam Crott has finished his probation period and to be an assistant supervisor now in the street department.
Move to approve Sam Crott for $17 an hour, going full-time from probation completed on 8/8/16. He will be an assistant supervisor.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. All right. Is there any other street?
Yeah. A couple of teachers talked to me about their concerns regarding parking around the grade school with all this construction, with the school year approaching soon. Want to know what the possibility was of us temporarily allowing parking on the west side of 11th Street. That would be the one-way section. Right now it's a yellow curve all on that west side.
No.
But didn't we allow the construction people to be on the east side of that?
No, that's on 10th Street. This is 11th Street because they closed 10th for PE and that. I'm not sure how they're going to run that.
There's people temporary parked there already. I don't think so. Kids come out of that building and run between cars. It's.
Oh, you're saying the east side of 11th.
The west side of 11th. The east side of 11th currently has parking.
The east side of Low, they have to cross the street? They do that?
Yeah,
So
people
cross-
stop and go. The street's wide enough since it's a one-way, my argument would be the street's wide enough that you can get, a car could drive down the middle easily without,
What about a bus?
There's enough room for a bus too, but.
Is there enough parking stalls south of the
There are
elementary?
no, not even close.
Why don't they talk to Presbyterian Church and see if they can use that parking lot? That's a half a block away.
Even with that parking lot, there won't be enough. That parking lot's only big enough for maybe 12 cars. I doubt even that.
They can't get 12 cars on the west side of 11th Street.
I think that's a really good idea.
It might be a wash. I mean, they absolutely can do it, but you know what they'll do? They'll park up farther up 11th, where people have already complained about too many people parking. I just don't. I think we're going to kick the cans farther down the road if we don't consider it.
It's school's project. It's a school's problem.
I think it's a good idea to contact the Presbyterian Church so you can make them that option. They could park in your alley. You're parking. They could park.
Yeah. See, and like I said,
maybe that's
for
why
the
you don't
record, I wouldn't mind if they parked in front of my house, except for everybody at Dollar General back
into them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough angle.
Go for it. But no, it was just brought up as an option because I mean, parking's already tight, and I don't know how many spots along the north. They're losing probably.
They took half of them.
Or more. They've got red iron in the other one. So that might be cleaned up eventually, but I won't be next month.
When did they say they'd be done with that? It was soon, like November, didn't they?
November, December.
I was gonna say, I thought it was the winter.
Yeah, they said they announced it today. It was early.
Yeah, they did. I can't remember because he announced a couple different dates for.
Yeah, I heard they were ahead on the project.
Yeah, so.
There's a lot of the streets there, and the 10th Street's the same going down to the highway. There's no parking on the one side except for Sunday, and so there's a lot of parking limitations in the area, and they just thought maybe it was something we could consider. So I want to bring it up.
And the council consensus is, we know what Kevin said, the council consensus is no.
Let me put it to you, we don't like it. What if they talk to Presbyterian Church says, well, we've got funerals and other things going on, we just don't want to mess with yes, you can use it here, or no here. Then would we, at any point is this consideration, or we'd like them to explore other options first?
I'd suggest just brought up that the school needs to come and request it.
Okay.
I think if they want,
that's kind of what I said too. They said, well, they didn't want
the school come request it.
I said, I'll bring it up. Just put it on the radar.
Project.
So, okay, I'll feed that back.
All right, you can feed that back.
No problem.
Anybody else?
Just remind me, the overlay for 36, when would that project actually start?
It would have to.
Next year.
It would have to be done by 6/30/2017.
So when are we going to, because we've got to figure out what we're going to do with 7th Street. I mean, I know that sounds like a long ways away, but isn't that?
But that has, transportation access.
We're going to do the access management, which
Did you read, it was in the
Okay,
highlights.
that's right. Okay,
Yes.
we're going to talk about that. Okay,
Which I should have brought that up too, but KDOT, we're going to do, they're picking it out, soliciting for engineers on that project right now, and now engineers are soliciting me because we get a little bit of input, but so that'll actually help us get money for things like that.
But in terms of what the layout, they're actually going to propose the layout?
Yeah, they'll do the studies, they'll talk to businesses, they'll analyze our traffic patterns, and then look at our intersections and go, it would be better if you did this, sort of thing.
Will they take into account the trail and all of that too, or?
Yes, because the engineers are asking about future growth, future projects, and where we want to go, what we want to do, are there businesses coming in, and they will take that into account.
Okay. All right. Anything else for street?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know whether it concerns the street, whether it's the water and sewer, but at 3rd and Walnut, for at least 2 years, there's been an open ditch or an open pit, whatever you want to call it, and I think it's about time it should be closed.
I agree. Do you know why that's an open?
You never since I was on the council.
Ken or Gary just talked to me about that.
I brought it up to you the other day. I talked to you about 3rd and Walnut.
The original clay pipe in there collapsed. and it left big holes in it, so they just come in and took it all out. And it's been like that ever since.
But they put new pipe in?
Nope.
No, they just put barricades around.
They just put barricades around. It's been like that.
Because it's storm drain?
It was a storm drain.
It is a storm drain. It did fill in. Richard Temps asked if something would be done before somebody fell in there.
In the
So I
holes.
had Kent Bargman come down, and Richard.
When was this? I'm sorry, I mean,
Oh, this has been months ago. This is 6 months, a year?
No, it's been a couple of years.
2 or 3 years ago since I talked to him about it.
2 years.
I talked to him about it 3 years ago.
Yeah, but they did pull the pipe out that was down there. It was collapsed.
Yeah, it was collapsed.
So it was not functional, and Richard was just wanting to know if it was his responsibility, which it turns out, no, it's the city's responsibility, because it's our pipe. So I don't know if Kent had come up with a solution, or...
Maybe a time frame?
Yeah,
I'll
time
get
frame.
a time frame.
Okay. We know the problem, we just don't have a
Solution, yeah.
Anything else? All right, water and wastewater. We discussed the CIPP already. Is there anything else? Parks and Rec?
Yeah, I had a question. Well, you'd mentioned, I think it was some of the highlights about the tree board you've been working with. Are you also, I don't remember if I saw it in there or not, but the EAB, the Emerald Ash Borer stuff, is a plan being developed? I mean, are we moving forward with something on that?
I asked the tree board to put together a master plan, if you will, for the whole city, and that was a main topic when I visited with them, is the Emerald Ash Borer, and they expressed some concerns about bringing projects to the council, and I'm going to help them with that. That's
good.
Yeah, it's. So I think if we can put together a master plan, not just to talk about the Emerald Ash Borer, but to talk about tree issues throughout the city, that we can go off a plan like anything else, and it would justify our path. So
I think we have to do something for Arbor Day too before the end of the year, don't we?
yeah, they're going to get that planned. They pretty much have that.
I see that we have a member, Bill Nelson, of our tree board with us tonight. He mentioned to me that several years ago that that there was a committee or group that went all over the whole city and identified trees that were good and poor, but the city hasn't done anything with that report.
Right, and yeah, I asked. That's pretty much what I'm asking him to do, is put all that information together and create a plan to go forward. So it's, yeah.
Okay. All right. Police and fire. Rich, you want to go first?
I didn't get in on time to be on your agenda, so I had Dave talk to the mayor of Austin, and I showed up. So here we go. Just want to update you all on the truck that you guys approved for purchase from Boss Motors. Hannah tells me it's going to be here sometime the week of August 22nd. So we're moving right along on that. We've got JS Signs in line. We have spent some time and made a specification sheet for them on what we're requiring them to do. They're going to build the back end of it, do all the wiring, electrical, everything for us. So as soon as the truck gets here, it'll be unloaded off the trailer. It'll be taken down to Manhattan, and it'll be there for probably about 4 weeks. One thing that I'm very grateful for is that Mr. Fry didn't hold me to the $64,000, although I'm not here asking for any more money. All right, here we go. We've done some bidding, we've done some comparison, we've done some thinking. In forward thinking, we've decided to upgrade this truck. When I first came and said we're not going to change the pump, we're going to use the old pump, we're going to use the old fittings, we're going to use the old stuff. Our truck committee got together, Chief Richardson and Austin also talked. We're getting a brand new truck and we're putting a pump that's 5 years old on it. Not a bad deal, but if we have it within our budget that we can upgrade, we can do something better, we can do something new, we can do something neat, and we can use it for a multi-purpose thing to run with our Jaws of Life truck. Why not do it if we can stay within the budget restraints that you all offered for us to use? So what our plans are is we're going to upgrade and we're going to do what they call a skid unit. It's an all-in-one, tank, pump, manifold, everything together, hose reel. it's a little pricey, it's $13,000. But it's within the budget. I've talked to Debbie, we've kind of scaled back on a couple of things. I've got some bids from Danco Fire Equipment on some lighting and some stuff, and I've been out on the internet and searched reputable places where I can find those same exact specifications on the lighting and things that we want to use for hundreds of dollars less. So, you know, when anybody makes a budget, you talked about the 2017 budget, you always build in a little cushion. So that's what I've done, is I built in a cushion when I came to you the first time. So I'm still looking around that $64,000 to $65,000 range, but completely upgrading the back end of the truck and going with a skid unit. The nice thing about this, like I said, it's all self-contained. If something if we, you know, God forbid, be in an accident with that truck, this thing unbolts, pulls off, goes into another truck. So you don't have the problem of taking it all apart and then putting it back into something else. So we're go ahead.
So you said this costs $13,000?
Yes, ma'am. It's the 13th.
So you're still going to stay within the $70,000 number?
Yes, ma'am. I am.
Okay.
So you can sell the old equipment too, which is probably figuring into your...
Right. I'm actually not figuring that in at all.
Oh wow.
The water department, or the street department, is needing a new water truck. So there'll be some flipping of funds there, one way or the other.
Thank you.
This is just the preliminary, and it just shows you what the money is.
Now, I noticed in our appropriations ordinance, there was something for JS Sign and Awning.
Right, JS Sign and Awning is the one that's doing the fabrication of the back end of the truck, the bed. Okay. I've talked to him on the phone multiple times, went through a specification sheet with him on what I'm requiring him to do, which I scabbed off of a Danco truck from Ron Wetter, their Danco rep, so it's in line and it meets all the specifications that we require. His bid before for the total was around $9,000, so by doing the skid unit and scaling some things back, there's some slush in that fund. So our agreement with him up front was to pay half up front and then the other half upon completion. Well, if you go to Bradford Build or look at any reputable flatbed manufacturer, you're looking at between, what, $2,900 and $3,700 for a flatbed. He says, I don't think that it's going to cost that much. So I feel comfortable after talking to him that we're going to be right on and maybe get some money back of that $4,000 that we're paying him. He is on board with that. He's not going to scalp us. He's not going to add things on to make up that difference.
So are you buying a truck plus this stuff from JS Sign and Awning plus this Danco?
No. Okay, the truck's coming from Ford, from Boss Motors, and that's the $42,000.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe I should break it down for you, Ms. Mayor.
Give me the details.
Here's the details.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you going to tell the rest of them?
Oh, that's my copy. I was going to
I thought you just had an extra copy, knowing I'd want to know the details. But
I figured you would ask for details.
Yeah. Well, so when we talked about it, we thought we were kind of give you a little bit of cushion, but for you to do all this, I'm like, wow, is this still going to work?
So
Not that I doubt you, Rich.
The $44,000, $4,240 is the truck. A lights and siren package is about $2,215. The 400-gallon XL Defender skid unit with the foam unit on it's $13,105. When I went out to look at the truck for a brush guard, we were toying between the whole front bumper mount, replacing the front bumper with a steel bumper versus just a brush guard. Our truck committee decided we're not going to replace the whole front bumper because if we do that, we have some overzealous firemen that might use it to push down trees and we don't want to get there. So, when I budgeted for that, it was around $2,200. A nice range hand brush guard is about $600. The industry standard for running boards is about $400. So we say, $1,000, so I have $1,200 in slush in that. So that's where those things kind of build up. And then with the payment for JS signs for the 4362, I'm still at the 47,725 budget. So.
But you have to double that, right? The 4362, because we're paying for half of it?
Well, that's what I explained earlier. When we did the $9,500 bid from him, that was him getting the tank, him getting the manifold, and us just providing him with a pump. So now that we've decided to go with the skid unit, he's not doing any of that. So instead of having him rebid everything, we just decided to issue him the half, and then if it's under, he'll refund. If it's over a little bit, which he says he doesn't think it will be, then we'll owe him a little bit more money. But,
so your bottom line that you think this is going to cost is what?
Well, Mr. Fry was nice and didn't pin me down to a number. You can remember that he said not to exceed $70,000.
Yeah, that was our number, yeah.
So
and you're not going to exceed $70,000.
I am not going to exceed $70,000.
Okay, that's good to hear. I'm glad. Well, I think it makes sense to go ahead and get.
Yeah, I don't know how you did that, because I'm looking and that's still $86,000.
What is?
When you add it all up. The 64, the 13, and the 9. And I heard you work some magic over there, but while you were taking money out of one pocket and putting it over here in this pocket, you lost me somewhere.
It's not. No.
I had 44,000 plus a 13 for the skid unit, plus 9 at the max.
44, 2, 6, 4, and 4 is 64. Right?
64 for the truck, 13.
No, 44. 40. Yeah.
That could have been.
You want to look at it in writing? It's easier. I should have made everybody a copy.
Yeah.
It's easier to look at it in writing. You're welcome to have that.
Thank you. Okay. Well,
so it's on the way. It's like I said, we're just getting the fine details worked out. If we would have had this epiphany in the beginning, then I wouldn't have to go back and reinvent the wheel. But when you have 11 people on a truck committee and then you have a fire chief and an assistant chief, and so we
difference of opinion?
We want to get the best bang for our buck.
I think that's great. That's great. Well, I just want you to know I went to that first responders event last night. Darlene and Brad, Austin was there, Debbie, Todd, Vicki. Kevin, were you there? And Debbie. So most of us were here. Bill, Keith, you were the two MIAs. But anyway, it was a great event. And I was really glad that the police wives organized it. I was really glad that the community supported it. The firemen did a great job. They had their equipment out there, the Jaws of Life equipment, and explained everything in detail.
Good.
And showed us how it worked. So they did a great job. And same way with the ambulance went in. The two paramedics there, Kevin Kirkland and Brandon Meridian, did a great job of explaining how they take care of it, basically like an emergency room on wheels. So it was just a great night, but it was a great night at the pool. All the policemen got pies.
I've seen a lot of the videos on Facebook.
Yeah, it was a great night. I'm so glad the community supported it, and your department, your fire department, the police, the highway patrol, the sheriff department, did I miss one? And the ambulance, they are truly blessings to our community. So thank you for your service.
Not a problem.
And I'm glad you got a new truck. You're just new truck, new car.
I just want to thank you for being such sports, especially our new officer for being first in line to take a pie in the face. So I'm just glad that wasn't in the job description when we talked to him.
We even had an EMS call.
Yes, we did. I don't know if anybody wants to expand on that or not.
Any more questions for me on this?
Yes.
Or are we good?
Well, I have a question.
Yes,
since we're talking about that. The EMS had a beautiful new ambulance. It's only been here 3 months. And as I was looking through the back of it, it's state of the art. It has some most. If you're going to be sick, you're going to hope this ambulance shows up. I got to tell you, it was beautiful. And I said I don't remember what is this? They said it's a 2016 or 17. I'm trying to remember what it was. But I said, I don't remember that coming across the desk here. And he said, y'all didn't have to pay for it. It came from a grant. And evidently, it's available in the county. And it is used, I don't know if it can be used for fire trucks,
Chief's
police
coming
trucks.
up, I think he's...
Do you know about this?
Brandon called me on that. Yeah, well, for one thing, an ambulance wouldn't come across your desk anyway. It's a private company.
Yeah, we pay for their services.
But
We don't
the
buy.
only thing, the grant you're talking about is the Ruger grant, and it pays strictly for equipment. That thing was not paid by a grant. They bought that through their company. The equipment can they apply for the grant for, as Brandon said. But you wouldn't see a purchase of somebody's private equipment ever anyway.
Okay, so are you talking, what they equipped it with? Like it came with a shell and the grant was
They
filled?
could, if they got some of it from that, but I know they're not, they did not buy the vehicle with that grant.
It's
through their company.
It's pretty difficult, just to answer your question candidly. The city of Marysville is financially very well compared to Oketo or Beatty or Logan Township. So when we've applied for the federal fire grants, continuously over the last few years. But because of our budget structure and our finances, we get kicked out. And we've went to the grant writing meetings. We've learned how to tweak them. We've done everything that we thought we were doing right, but just because of our financial stability, I guess they don't look at us.
I thought it was our median income was too high.
Yeah, that's
one.
I mean,
we get the same problem.
There's such a criteria that they look at, and then if you don't,
It's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have, but if you don't,
But there's no free
if you
money.
don't meet one or if you don't meet their criteria, I mean, that fire grant is nationwide, so I mean they're kicking people out all the time.
Have we checked this particular?
If I can tell you the Ruger grant you're talking
Yes.
about, the only people eligible for that whole grant are the 4 ambulance services in the county. That's it.
Okay. I didn't get that in depth in the conversation, but I was thinking we're.
I didn't either. I just got a phone call earlier.
Excellent. How'd you know she was going to bring it up?
Because she had talked to you?
Yeah, I did.
Or something, in case he wanted to make sure that all the information was here for her.
Okay.
And then, the mayor had talked to the fire chief, and we talked about Frontier Farm Credit. They have a grant, which I applied for, just to help offset some of the costs of this truck. And it was, I think you told Dave like a week before it was due, and then I hurried and got it in 3 days. Debbie helped me get the numbers, and we submitted it in, and unfortunately we didn't get it because it was kind of an offset to this project, up to $10,000, but they give it quarterly. So my plan is to get with them and keep applying for things. I mean, free money is free money.
Yes.
I don't look at grants as free money because it's somebody's money, but if it can benefit us and it's all online and Debbie's got the numbers, I mean, how
Well, did
tough
you
is it
call
to do?
them to ask why we got denied?
Well, it's one of those sticky things too. Frontier Farm Credit has a criteria. They like to do things to boost the ecosystem or to do farming type things. I mean, if you read through that, I mean, it kind of explains. I can't remember his name. Debbie, can you help me with the guy that came by?
Tynan?
Yeah, I think that.
Tyson. Yeah.
Tyson Anderson.
Yes.
So I haven't been out to see Tyson yet, but I plan to do that before the next quarter's up. And then, even if we can say, the rural fire department is less financially stable because it's township money. So if we can buy gear and purchase things that way for that department.
Well, I appreciate you looking into that because we do serve the rural areas, so.
Exactly.
And any equipment we can purchase that way is great,
Right.
so.
And
And
I
he did
know-
sound like, he did say that it's a quarterly thing, so maybe if we get it in before the very tail end.
And I know that we were just approved for the forestry grant, so we're getting some new wildland fire equipment from forestry on that. So that's something we
Good to
apply
know.
for every year.
Well, thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Todd. Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Thanks for your work. Thank you for your service, both of you. All right, admin and finance, anything? City attorney is not here. I do not know of any reason for an executive session. Anybody? We've already discussed wages. I don't have any appointments, so I guess we're at a round table discussion. I do not have anything, so Keith?
On the Geo project, when they're using an excavator to take out the part of the highway to cut down the hill, I think people should probably avoid that area and go around, because that excavator, they're swinging around. I mean, I don't know how often they're looking at it, but I think if people who live in
You mean
town
go
could
north
avoid
road
that
and
area.
11th road?
Yes,
At least the city traffic?
Yeah.
You would recommend that?
yes, I
Okay.
recommend that.
Safety is good. Thanks. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Bill?
Nope.
Darlene?
No.
Brad?
One thing, we need to probably look into putting a railing on the stairway at the Art Center. We had a small accident last night, and does bring to mind that we've got a ramp on one side, but there's a stairway, and it's a little precarious, and I've noticed that before, but but we probably need to look at installing a railing. I don't think it doesn't need excessive, but
It's all black there. We should be able to find black to match.
I would think so, yeah. You paint it, but it just,
You know where it is on the south side?
yeah, there's just.
One
with
side
with
has a
rip,
railing, one
and
side
then it's
doesn't.
open, kind of half open, half along
And
the
the
bricks,
steps are
so.
open. So you'll look into that? Anything else? Todd?
I saw 20th Street's open, or 20th Street, Carolina Street at 20th Street's open, so that's nice. We got 3/4 or a block and a half
When was
or
it-
whatever.
when did it
beautiful
open?
concrete.
He just did it.
Today?
Today, I think.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And so it'll be nice once that gets finished.
Yeah.
The other thing is, it's not, I don't know if it's in city limits or not, but I think, do you know why it's taking them so long to replace the guardrail out here at 36 and 77?
I'm
Do they
glad
not
it's
have
not
the money
ours to
I know
do.
it's not ours, but I mean, the times before when people rammed that thing, boy, they fixed it quick. That thing's been out for like, what, a month and a half now? People have asked me, and I said, well, it's not really in the city.
You know what we're talking about?
I know maybe the state doesn't have
I
any
know where you're
guardrail funding or what, but
I don't know, I don't have,
I didn't know if the state was advising the city on that at all. No? All
You
right.
can contact them and ask.
Got any money?
Say, why aren't
That's what I was
you?
gonna say, the guardrail funding completed.
Should we wait till we get our clean project done before we complain?
start poking.
They're gonna put in a split rail fence instead. No, that's all I had.
Yeah, okay, Vicki?
I just wanted to say too, thank you to the police wives, Jada Ackerman, who headed this up, the appreciation event for all first responders. There were some that I didn't know, and I probably should have reason to have contact with them more than the regular citizens, but it was great fun. It showed them as regular people with families. It was really a delightful event. Sorry for those who missed it. It was a real opportunity to meet our first responders and to say face-to-face to them, thank you for the hours they put in and the sacrifices their families make too when they have to get up in the middle of the night and respond to an accident, a fire, or some event. So it was a nice way to say thank you. I know at one time, the library, Janice Lind, had tried to do a Cops and Cookies event, and I'm sorry people didn't participate there because that was a nice and thoughtful way to have interaction with our police officers. So I think that everybody's thinking and everybody's trying, and it's making us more of a community and cooperation among police and citizens. So thank you to everyone involved.
It was really nice, and I met some of our police, I'm sorry, the fire department that I hadn't met before because they're volunteer firemen and we don't know who they are. So it was a good opportunity for us to meet them and thank them, so. All right, Denny?
I don't have anything.
Kevin? Nope. Oh my goodness, well, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? 8-0.